Hello all, welcome to the channel, and today's video gonna be about the warehouses. This video is the part of inventory management or stock management video series, and today we're gonna discuss about the importance of warehouse in the business process, how we can create a warehouse and view the available options, and we will also take a look into the bill location for warehouse management. Then we will also see how we can create a virtual warehouse for the drop shipping process. So we're gonna discuss everything in detail right after this. Let's assume that the company or your customer is having the item which needs to be physically stored into some location, and that location is called the warehouses. And let's assume they have the different warehouse into the different location for their better business, right? So one of warehouse is controlled by the bill location, and the other warehouse is physically located as the vendor, so it represented as a drop shipping warehouse. And also as they are making more and more business, so they're going to create and expand their warehouse for the better distribution, right? So the warehouse is basically used in almost all the marketing document in the purchase and sales. So whenever you pick any item, for example, if you're picking any item in here and you selected some item, then if this item is the inventory type, like this item is not the inventory type, so if we select item, let's say I hope we have this one, it's I guess 00001, and I hope this item is the inventory one. Yes. So if you see that in the warehouse column, the warehouse would be the each item contains a warehouse information, and depending on the marketing document, the warehouse addresses also get copied into the logistic or into the ship to address, and bill to address and ship to address of the purchase document, right? So for example, if you're gonna see, like right now we picked business partner 7001, and if you select the same item, and you will see that the address in here it's same as the address of warehouse. I'm gonna go into the warehouse, and you will see that the address of the warehouse is same as the address of ship to, right? And that's why the address in the warehouse is really important, and the warehouse and the items, so warehouse and items are tightly linked together if they are inventory items. And for all the inventory documents such as the good receipt, inventory transfer, good issue, always reference a item, a warehouse. And because the warehouse is the key in the whole process of involving the items, so we will look at how the warehouse defined and what they signify in the SAP Business One. So basically, in the simple term, like if I'm open the warehouse screen. So in the simple term, the warehouse is basically defined as a location where goods are stored. That's it, and the thing is, like, to defining the warehouse, you definitely need gonna be the warehouse code and warehouse name, and you have to be specific, right? And then you need to specify where the warehouse is entering location information, including all the address information that you really need. SAP Business One provided way too many things in the address to cover depend on the localization of SAP Business One. The location, and you have to define the location if you want. And then this location information is important, as I said, because they typically the address of warehouse is associated with the first document row, is used as the ship to address, like in the purchase document we already said. So most warehouse are created for physically storing, but the warehouse can also be set up as the virtual warehouse. And to create a virtual warehouse you do not need the location information on anything, because it will be the virtual warehouse. But when you assign a drop shipping warehouse for some, then you can also manage the items by the serial and the batches itself as well. Another option is whether you want this warehouse to be considered in the material requirement planning. And third option, new in like after 9.0 of SAP Business One, is that use the bin location as a sub level within your warehouse. So this option would not be available if this is a drop shipping warehouse, because bin location is only important and you can enable from here, and bin location is important for the physical warehouse, not the drop shipping warehouse. So this will be only available in that into the physical warehouse. And the other field for the tax information may be visible depend on the localization as well, like in the tax and the federal tax ID, these information. So for example, to create a drop shipping warehouse, you need to enter the code. So I'm gonna say this is my drop shipping warehouse, right? And you have to enable the disable this netable. Once you disable this, then you can enable the drop shipping warehouse, and you do not need to add anything else. If you don't want, you can assign the accounts, and then you can simply add this one. But if you try to find now, then you will see that if you want to try to enable the bin location, then it will say you cannot enable the bin location for the warehouse because it is the dropship warehouse. So that's the main reason. And then if you want to create the normal warehouse, so let's say I'm gonna create A01, and it's gonna be the physical warehouse. It's in the location of Germany, I'm gonna say. And if there is any business partner, you can define. You can define the all the address that you need, right? And then you can simply add the warehouse as well. Once you add the warehouse, you can enable the bin location. Once you enable the bin location, you will see a bin location tab in here, and the bin location is basically the standard. It's separated by the dash, or you can also change it by yourself. And once you added the warehouse, you will see the first default bin location is contain the warehouse, and then the system bin location. So one of the benefit for the bin location is like it improve the logistic of warehouse process. And then the bin location is also help you to keep the track of the item in warehouse, like in which aisles which item is belong, and to also the physical bins and that is stored in the items. And using the bin location management can help you to optimize the storage space and quickly locate the item, and it will be easily find and route for the picking service. And for example, there would be some delivery happened, or the picking that's delivery to your customer. Then one of the guy from your picking manager can simply walk down using the bin location, and he can simply find that item into one of the bin in some of the aisle of your warehouse, and he can simply pick the item from there directly without wasting a lot of time to finding and locating in the big warehouse. So once you save the warehouse, I'm gonna talk about like how you can create the new bin locations. So you can simply go into the new, right? And you have to define the different label, right? And defining the different label is like you have like right now I define so many labels in the warehouse, but you can define as setting as new, right? From here, or by yourself, or you can simply manage your warehouse code. So for example, let's say I'm gonna start everything from the beginning. So let's say you created this warehouse. I'm gonna say this is B01, this is my physical warehouse, right? And it's in Germany with blah blah, right? Somewhere. And I'm enabling the bin location, going to the bin location, adding the separation, and added the warehouse. Then you can go back into your bin location tab, and when you will empty that, you will see that you have the option of creation, then you will see that you have the sub level already defined, but I'm gonna need the new series. So I'm gonna use the AB0, right? So I'm gonna say, okay, my character will be B, right? And then next would be numeric, and I'm gonna say it would be only one. And I'm gonna say next would be again, so B would be my the second level. So my first would be the warehouse always, then the second level would be my aisle, and the aisle would be, let's say I'm gonna say that my aisle start from S, right? And this goes from, we only have three aisle, let's say, so I'm gonna go from 1 to 3, right? And then I'm gonna say the next one is my labels. So this one, let's say, is starting from L, and we also have each aisle have, let's say, each shelf have like three labels, right? So I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, right? Added that. So now you will see that we have the different code automatically generated by the information we provided. And when you click on generate, then you will see that it's already generated in here, right? And you can close this document now, and when you will select here, you will see that we get all the information in here. And you can select one of the bin location, one of the sub labels that we have just selected, and you can simply add it into your into the bin. And then you just saw like how we can create, and in here it's like the bin location is like bin 01 is our warehouse, and then we have the one aisle, and then one shelf, and then one label, and that's how you can create a bin location and the into the warehouse. Now let's jump into the drop shipping warehouse that we have just created, this one. And what happens is sometimes when you have product you sell that you do not take or store, like this Shopify, then your company serve as a middleman between your customer and vendor. In these circumstances, you can set up a drop ship warehouse, right? And when a customer order a product from a dropship warehouse, the system open the procurement confirmation wizard when you save the sales order, and that wizard create a purchase order for preferred vendor to the item. And the ship to address in the purchase order is to the ship to address for the customer in the sales order, this in this condition. And when the vendor receive the purchase order, they ship the product directly to the customer. And what happen is like when the vendor invoice you for the cost of product, then you invoice the customer for the sales amount, and with the drop shipping process, and there is no effect on the inventory quantity or the values. So no good movement are posted, no general entry is made to reflect the inventory values changes, and therefore the drop ship warehouse is not displayed on the inventory report as well. To set up the warehouse, as I told before, you just have to mark the dropship here, and it would like to include the ability to track the serial number and also the batches in the drop shipment if you have. And then you can mark this one as well for your document. So that was the basic introduction of the warehouse setup and how you can create the bin and manage them. In the upcoming videos, I will discuss more in detail about the bin management and the drop shipping warehouse, and how you can create and manage the drop shipping warehouse items to and from selling the customer from the vendor, and how you can behave as a middleman into the documents. So I'm gonna cover all these details into our upcoming videos. So for stay tuned, please subscribe, and if you have any question, feel free to drop me into the comment section, and I would be happy to answer them. Thank you so much.